Hey everyone, how's it going? I figured I'd do kind of a different video today. Normally I'm in front of the green screen, but I figured I'd go back to the old handheld. Wow, my hat looks like I got a giant bill this way. If I pull it this way, it'll look kind of scary. Let's get a nice medium in here. Anyways, I figured I'd tell a story today, and this is one of my favorites. I wish I actually had one of my friends here to tell it, but of course, all the people involved in this story live, yeah, miles, if not thousands of miles away. So it's kind of difficult to do that. But anyways, I'll go ahead and tell you about it. I used to be a outdoor painter there for a while. So for a summer, I worked as an outdoor painter, and it got pretty boring out there sometimes. I mean, we had some cool views looking at the mountains and stuff like that, but a lot of times it got boring. So what we would do is, to spice things up and make the day interesting, we would prank each other a lot. So this could range from things like uh, caulking someone's bottle cap onto their bottle, just something silly, or their shoes, or like hiding their lunchbox, something silly like that. Or even one time they put my sweatshirt up on the roof with and took the ladder down, put it up. That was pretty funny. But one of these went a little bit far. We'll just say that. And probably in future videos we might talk about some other pranks that went on out there. But one of these went a little bit too far, and I did not intend on it going this far. But I totally do not regret what happened. So I'll go ahead and let y'all in on it. So let's see. So one day we were finishing up, and my buddy Caleb at the time, he had his van sitting there. It was a minivan, and he had driven us up there. Well, I don't remember what he was doing, if he was on the other side of the building or what, but he wasn't in the area. So me and then Josh, which is one of the guys that was out there, one of my best friends. So we were chilling there, and we decided to prank Caleb. So I might mess up a few details on this story because it's kind of fuzzy, because this was years ago. But I don't remember much about the initial prank because it wasn't that significant, just a childish little one. But it turned out really, really crazy at the end. I remember what happened then. But so, anyways, we decided to do a nice little prank on him. We were going to go inside of his van, and we had a bunch of masking tape and a bunch of painter's paper, basically what it is, so that way you don't get paint on the ground or anything. And so what we did was we covered the inside of his car in that, and then we painted stupid stuff all over the painter's paper, and no big deal, whatever. Well, I guess it was a big deal to him. So he get in there, and I guess he got super mad about it and all this stuff. Whatever, it's just a little prank, but apparently we may have spilled some paint all over the van, but I don't remember that. I think it was probably him that did that, because the paint wasn't drying when he was ripping it all off. I think that maybe he might have gotten some paint on his van and want to blame it on me. But anyways, so he came. He didn't know who did it, because we had quite a few people on our crew, and so he came up to me of all people and asked who did this. Well, I'm a seasoned prankster, so of course I'm not going to admit to it. But I I don't know what I was thinking, but I told him that one of our other coworkers had done it, and that I watched him do it. Our other coworker, Jeremy. So I told him that he had done it, and all that stuff. And so Caleb was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get him back for this. And I said it completely straight face, and he believed it 100%, which is pretty funny that he didn't further question me, because Jeremy's not the kind of guy to prank people. I was definitely the prankster in the group. So it was kind of funny that he believed me. Well, anyways, fast forward a couple days, I had already forgotten about this. So a bunch of us lived in a house together, and we were hanging out, we were roommates and stuff like that. And me and Josh decided to go fishing, and we caught some trout, and we brought it back, so we were going to eat them. And Caleb was hanging out there. So we were sitting there gutting the fish and cleaning it, and we don't use the heads of the fish, obviously. We don't eat that. And so Caleb's like, hey, can I see the heads of those fish? We're like, why? Why do you need the head of the fish? He's like, oh, no reason. I just want to do something with it. something funny. I was like, okay, well, I'm always down for something funny. So I was like, oh, sure. Nothing bad could happen with this. So I gave him the head of the trout, big old trout that we caught. And so, nothing happens. I don't talk to him the rest of the night. Well, apparently, what he does is he goes and gets back against Jeremy. So Jeremy lives in this house with all of us, roommates and stuff. And Caleb doesn't live with us though. That is me, Josh, and Jeremy. We live there, and Caleb lives away, so he wasn't there for what, the reaction. But anyway, so what he did was he went and took that fish head and put it in Jeremy's lunchbox. He put that thing in Jeremy's lunchbox, and the bad thing was it was Friday. So this was a Friday, and of course we didn't have work till Monday again. And Jeremy's not going to be in his lunchbox during the weekend. So Caleb had put that fish head in there and sealed it. Well, this was, this is out in Montana, and they don't have, a lot of them don't have air conditioning because, it's most of the time cold there. So you just have heat. You don't really need air conditioning because it rarely ever gets hot. Well, it got hot that weekend. It got real hot in there. And so where he kept it was just kind of in like a little area where, not very many people went, in the kitchen and stuff. And so you couldn't really tell that it was smelling. And so Monday, when he goes to make his lunch, he goes to make his lunch Monday, he opens that thing up, and I kid you not, that was the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life. It's so terrible because Jeremy didn't even do anything. He wasn't even part of the prank. So he's like, what? Why did Caleb do that to me? Like, why would he do that? Because I told him that it was Caleb because Caleb had asked for the fish earlier. And I had mentioned to Jeremy that, Caleb was doing something with the fish head before the prank. I even knew about the prank because I just, mentioned offhandedly that Caleb took the fish head. So Jeremy realized obviously real soon that Caleb would put that fish head in there. Well, it not only stunk the thing up, but it ruined the lunchbox. I mean, you could not, it's done for. I mean, it was a nice lunchbox. It was done for. You cannot get the stuff out of there, get the smell out of there. And so, of course, he had to get a new lunchbox for the rest of the time. But he was super mad about Caleb doing that. But I don't know. The funny thing is, like, I think Caleb still to this day thinks that it was Jeremy that did that, which is the funniest part because, I don't know. I never told him, I guess Jeremy never like mentioned it to him that he didn't even do it. He just yelled at him. I got real mad at him or something like that. I don't know much of what happened after that, but I just remember the prank and how upset Jeremy got. But let me think of it. There's another one that was actually kind of right after that. So on this painting, now that I'm thinking about it, on this painting job, sometimes because it would when it rains, you can't outdoor paint. So when it would rain, when it was nice, we would sometimes spend like long hours. So we had a 12-hour day coming up, and not to mention that it was 45-minute drive to get there and back. So we were looking at almost a 14-hour day is what we were going to be doing. So it's one of our biggest days of the summer, and it's exhausting painting. So we needed a ton of rest. Well, my friend Josh, who I had mentioned earlier that we went and caught those fish with, by the way, Josh is the same guy in the beaver story, in case y'all remember watching that. But anyways, so what I did is I took we had this this big day coming up, and he really wanted to get some good rest before this, was planning on going to bed early. Well, I thought it would be funny to take a gallon of water and pour it in his bed. I poured a whole gallon of water in his bed. So when he got in that sucker, it was cold and wet. And he probably only got a couple hours of sleep that whole night. He was so mad at me. And that's kind of what kicked off all the pranking, where it started to get kind of bad, which I'll address in the coming videos, some more of the pranks that we did. I'd like to get Josh on here so we can talk about more of them, but I figured I'd share those couple of them. And hopefully, it was years ago, like I said, so I might have gotten a couple details off, but I do remember him putting that fish in there and just the reaction and the smell of that thing. And I totally didn't intend on that, but there's a lesson for y'all. If you prank someone, you better understand the repercussions of it. In this case, I got lucky, but someone can definitely get you with it. So yeah, I appreciate y'all watching this, and leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more interesting stuff like this. Thank you.